In this video, we will be talking about how to create brackets. So let's get started. Once we're into the project file here on OnShape, we'll go ahead and create new element and click on Create Part Studio. So the first bracket that we're going to be building is going to be the aft fin bracket. And let's go ahead and begin by sketching on the front plane. Okay, once we're on sketch mode, then we'll go ahead and click on the front so that we can see this in full view. And I will go ahead and create these dimensions. Start at the origin going up. We'll go ahead and put the dimensions first, and then we'll go ahead and create them parametric. So this one will be 18.3 centimeters. Okay, so it's a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Okay, so going to the right, this one will be 0.45 centimeters. We're going to have to zoom in because there's small detail there. And we're going to make this one at an angle. I'm not too worried about the dimension because we're going to have to redimension that with a vertical height. Okay, so don't put a dimension there. Going to the left, if you want to put a dimension, that's fine. I will go ahead and make mine vertical to that yellow point that's on the top. So if I'm moving this to the left and you see that yellow construction line, you can go ahead and click so that it's one less dimension that we're going to do. So that puts it vertically on top of that 0.45 line, this one. I'm going to go down and make it so that it's horizontal right here to our origin. I'm going to click and then click it again. You can see that dimension is going to be 0.45. So that's one less dimension that I have to do. All right, next, we'll go ahead and create that dimension from this point to the top right point. When I click from point to point, it gives me the option whether if I want horizontal dimensions or vertical dimension, or even I forgot what this one's called. I think it's adjusted dimension. I'm not too sure, but we'll go ahead and make this vertical since I do have that dimension. And that one will be 1.83. Okay, there's going to be one more dimension that we're going to make, and that's the one right below it right here. Let's put our dimension outside because we can't see it inside. This one will also be 0.45. All right. So now that we have our shape, what we need to do is we need to create the dimensions. This one right here, we're going to make them parametric. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. This one will be hashtag ring height. So these are going to be dependent on the height of the rings that we made for the fuselage. So we're going to press enter. So it's not going to be 18.3, it's going to be 1.83. And for it to give us 18.3, we're going to have to multiply it times 10. So we'll do that on the equation part. So we'll press enter, enter. Okay, this is the equation part. So it is 1.83 times 10. So go ahead and put that asterisk 10 times 10. Press enter, we'll see that we do have the right dimension there. This one over here, on the other hand, is just 1.83. So we can go ahead and say this is hashtag ring height and press enter. Okay, and this one over here on the top, this one will be dependent on a different variable. So we'll go ahead and create hashtag F diameter. Press enter. The F diameter is equal to 9. So what do we have to do to make it 0.45? So divided by 20. Press enter. Good. So that is 0.45. Let's go ahead and dimension this also. So it's going to be hashtag F diameter divided by 20. enter. Okay, so all the sides have been parametrically modeled. I'm going to finish my sketch, and I will go ahead and extrude the shape that we just created. Let me put this in isometric view so that we can see what's happening in 3D. I want this part to be symmetric, which means that this is going to be extruded to the front as much as it is extruded to the back. So I want you to see what happens when I click on symmetric. So it's half to the front, half to the back. So this depth right here is going to be based off of the F diameter, and it's going to be divided by 25, I think. Let's check. Yes, so it's F diameter divided by 25. Okay. So let's check the top dimension. Well, actually, might be a little too thin. Let me check. Maybe it was divided by 10. Let's double check that real quick. Actually, it was divided by 10. So go ahead and make that correction. So it's really easy to just go back and double click and make sure that it is F diameter divided by 10. So we're going to have like little square here. So that's what it looks like. Okay, we're done with that extrusion. Let's go back to our isometric view. That looks perfect. We can go ahead and turn off the origin, top, front, right, and we'll make a few modifications on this too. Let's start with the top view. If this part is going to be joining the fuselage, it does need to have that curvature here so that it fits very snugly into the fuselage or into the ring. So I'm going to go ahead and start a sketch here on the top part of the object. Please make sure that you're clicking on top of the object, not on the top plane. That's a no, not this one. Click here. There we go. So once you have that, we're going to be sketching here. Let's click on the top view. All right, and we're going to be making an arc. So this is called the 3-point arc. And we're going to start at the top left. Then we're going to click on the bottom left. And now it's just a matter of what is going to be the curvature here. Now the diameter, which is F diameter, is 9 centimeters right now. But the measurement that you're getting right here is the radius. And you know that if the diameter is 9, then the radius is half of the diameter. So this distance that we have right here, F diameter, is 9. But this is asking for a radius. So what we need to do right here, this is going to be, oh, that always happens when I try to put hashtag. Let's go to the top view again, and let's click on dimension. Zoom out, click. Okay, this is going to be F diameter divided by 2 because it's a radius. It's half of the diameter. Press enter. We're going to have a really thin sliver of the part that we're going to have to cut out. So if the dimension comes out over here, you can just go ahead and move it. It's not necessary, but I'd like to keep my dimensions close to my objects, just like that. It's even better if you keep it outside of the object, even if it means creating a little extension line, but I don't want to put any dimensions inside the object. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use extrude. Let's click on isometric view. And let's really zoom in right here so that we can click on this part right here. Now I want to extrude add, as you can see right here, but we want to remove. So if we check the other side of our isometric, this part is being cut out. It's a really thin part that's being cut out, and we want to remove this through all. So this is going to be cutting it all the way from the top to the bottom. Click on the check mark, and we're almost done with this part. You can see now it has an arc, and that's going to fit nicely into the fuselage. Next, I'm going to click down here between the front, right, and the bottom view. And we're going to make a little sketch here on the bottom. So I'm going to click it, and I'm going to click on sketch. Let's click on the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a hole. It's not a hole that goes all the way through, so it does have a dimension. But first I want to put some markers which are with points. I'm going to find the middle. There's the top middle, and I want to find the middle on the right side. There it is. And I'm going to create a circle. So if I find this point right here, you can see that I'm projecting to the top. And if I find that one, it's going to find both horizontal and vertical alignment. So that's just going to save me a few clicks. If I find the top and the right side middle points, I can click here, and then I can dimension the circle to whatever I want. Okay, now this dimension, hashtag, nope, see, it does it again. Let's go back over here again. Okay, let's click on the bottom. Let's click on dimension. All right, so this one's going to be hashtag F diameter, and this one will be divided by 25. Enter. So that's going to give us 0.36. Now, how much does that extrude in? Okay, the extrusion that's going to be made is going to be, let's finish the sketch first. And now let's click on extrude. Okay, make sure that you click on remove. And we're going to click on this circle. Okay. And click on the bottom. Okay, just please remember, it's not going to go all the way through. Wow, that really zoomed out. Not bad. Okay, let me try that again. Here we go. This is going to be hashtag. Let's try. Let's see. 1.83. Okay, so this dimension has to be 0.135. So it's going to be F diameter. And it's going to be times 0.135 and then divided by 9. 0.135 divided by 9. Press enter again. If we go back to the extrude, that should say 0.135. Okay. Press the check mark. And what we're going to do, just to make sure that it is okay, we're going to check the mass properties. And if you click on mass property of this object, you should see 7.521. So if you have that dimension, then you're doing okay. Let's close this part, and we're going to rename this. Right-click rename. So this is going to be the aft fin bracket. So these are the brackets that go at the end of the rocket. And you can also rename it here. Right-click, rename, aft fin bracket. Okay, very good. So we can put this in our home view, and it's already saved. Okay, so this is good. Now let's go to the nose cone so that we can make the forward bracket. So the forward bracket, I'm opening the nose cone. So if you haven't done the nose cone yet, you might want to stop this video and start making the nose cone first. But if you have the nose cone, just go ahead and open it, and we're going to continue from here. The first thing that we're going to do is we need to create an offset plane from the right. So you can go ahead and turn the right on, or you don't have to, but if you feel more comfortable creating this plane first, you can do that. So I'm going to click on plane, and it's going to be offset from the right side plane. You can see how that starts moving to the right. The offset distance will be 5.5 centimeters. Okay, or if you want to make this into parametric modeling, we can click on hashtag F diameter times 5.5 divided by 9. You can press enter. So if I go back to check plane 5, it should say that it is 5.5. So, and the reason we didn't have to worry about making a new variable is because the nose cone already had that variable. If we check on the top left, it should say F diameter. So that plane has been offset by 5.5 centimeters. All right. Now I'm going to sketch on plane 5. Click on the right plane. We're going to make a little rectangle here. So you can click on rectangle. And this rectangle is going to be, the top is hashtag, keep doing that, F diameter, turned it around to the back. Need to start clicking D for dimension. Okay, so this dimension right here, it's supposed to be 1. So it's going to be hashtag F diameter divided by 9. Press enter. And this one right here will be F diameter times 11 divided by 9. Okay, so it's a long rectangle. We're going to find the midpoint. So if you click on point and find the midpoint right in the middle of the bottom of the rectangle, there it is. And we're going to constrain it to this origin point. So if I click on coincident, click on the middle of the bottom rectangle, and then click on your origin. So you have to like zoom in a little bit and make sure you're not clicking on the line. Make sure you click on the point. So you might have to move your mouse up a little bit. So right here. When you do that, you should see your rectangle is all black. That means that you have fully constrained your sketch. So we're going to click on finish. We're going to go back to the home view. And now we're going to click on extrude. So now I have to click on this rectangle. It wants to go the other way. And I say, nope, it's going to be going the other direction. And the depth is going to be up to next. So it's going to find the next part. So as soon as I do that, it wants to add it to the previous part. And so I'm going to have to say no. I want a new part. So I'm going to click on the check mark. So you can see that it has a different color. It's in gray because I added a new part. So we have the nose cone and we have a new part. I will turn off the right plane and the plane number 5. So I can just click hide it. May have to scroll up to find the right plane. Okay, so it leaves it a little bit cleaner. I'm going to turn off the origin too. Perfect. So the next thing I need to do is I need to sketch on this part of the new object. Now click on the sketch. Okay, and we're ready. Click on the front and let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to start using the line tool And I'm going to start right on the bottom corner. And this thing's going to go up somewhere around here. Then it's going to go to the right, somewhere around there. And then it's going to go up again. Please make sure you don't constrain it to anything else. So if you see that you're creating like a yellow line constraint, don't do that. Just make sure you click somewhere else all the way up to the top line. That's the only like yellow line that you want, not the vertical dotted line that you see here. So you don't want that. So click somewhere else on the top line. Perfect. I'm going to press escape so I can exit the line command. And now I'm going to be putting in some dimensions here. So hit the letter D for shortcut. So from here, from the top right corner to the top of this blue line, this is going to be 3.5. So I'm just going to click hashtag F diameter. And it's going to be times 3.5 divided by 9. Perfect, 3.5. Next, I will click from the bottom right point to the middle of the object that we just created. Make sure that you don't have this crooked dimension line. This is going to be a vertical dimension, just like that. Make sure your arrows are up and down. Click. This will be 10 centimeters, so it's going to be hashtag F diameter times 9 divided by 10 times 9 divided by 10, or you could have put times 0.9. Actually, it should have been the other way. 10 times 10 divided by 9. Yeah, it's always good to check. So 10 divided by 9. There we go. 10 divided by 9. So that should give us 10 centimeters. We have one more dimension that we want to do, and then the other ones are going to be angles. So right here, you can click on the line. Since it's just one dimension that we need, this dimension will be 0.5. So hashtag F diameter times 0.5 divided by 9. 0.5 divided by 9. Press enter, that should give us 0.5. And now let's work with angles. Let's put that dimension here. So we're still under the dimension command. And we're going to click here and here. This one will be 15 degrees. As soon as we do that, you can see all these lines are going to turn black. So that means everything has been fully constrained. We want to do one more thing. Down at the bottom, because there's a hole that's going to be going straight all the way to the top, we want that hole to be on a flat surface. So we're going to make one more little adjustment to this. And I need you to find where the midpoint is. So if you find where the midpoint is using the line command, so I clicked on line and find the middle, okay? And then just click somewhere here. You see this? It finds the point that's perpendicular to it. So let me zoom in a little bit more. You see a point that's perpendicular to it. If you don't find that perpendicular point, that's fine. You can just click somewhere else and then just make this 15 degrees, like that. Let's click on dimension. If you go from here to here, you're going to be able to select that and make it 15 degrees. So it would have been the same thing. So if I try to dimension from here to here, you're going to see how that's like 90 degrees. But if I do that, it's just going to be a driven constraint, which means that I won't be able to do anything. It's just for reference. Now you can call it reference dimension or driven dimension. Okay, again, you don't have to do that dimension. Just wanted you to see that you do have 15 degrees whenever you put this at perpendicular angle. Okay, so we're almost done. We're going to click on the check mark, and we have two shapes that we need to cut out. The first one is going to be extrude, remove, and we're going to click on this outside part. So when you're removing, make sure that you click on through all. So it knows that we need to remove all of this portion of the bracket. Another thing that you need to do is you might have to zoom in so you can remove this bottom little triangle. So it's really important that you do this. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to complete this correctly. So make sure that you remove this bottom little triangle and this big old shape that we have on the right side. So I'm going to click on the check mark. So we've removed it. And what we need to do next, we need to take a look at the bottom. And we have two rectangles. This one that has a little arc, and the one on the right, which is just the rectangle. We want to sketch here on this corner. So click on that and then click on sketch. And what we're going to do is just by clicking on the bottom, we're going to make a circle. Now this circle that we're going to do, make sure that you start the center right on the edge, right here. Okay. Now this circle will be 0.5. So let me click on dimension first this time. D for dimension. Click on the circle. There we go. So this circle is going to be hashtag F diameter times 0.5 divided by 9. Enter. Okay, perfect. Now I can go ahead and do finish the sketch. We can do the extrusion. Make sure you click on remove. If you only click on this half of the circle, it's only going to go up to a certain dimension. So watch what happens. Let's do the depth. 10 hashtag F diameter times, this is going to be 10.35 divided by 9. Press enter. So you can see how that's going to go in, but it's only the inside circle. So we don't want that one. We want this one also. So when I click on this one too, you have to select both semicircles so that that circle hole can go all the way through. If we check it from the top, let me zoom out right here. You can see how that's going to get really, really close to coming out right through there, but it's just a perfect size. So we don't want this hole to be going all the way out because we don't want to create any holes on this bracket. So again, this depth was F diameter times 10.35 divided by 9. Check. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I think we have what we need from this forward bracket. Now what we need to do is we need to make a copy of it on the other side. So how do we copy something? We make a mirror and we select the part that we want to copy. And then we click on the mirror plane, and the mirror plane is going to be the right plane. So this is sort of like the mirror image. So when we click here, the other side appears. Please remember that you need to click on new. For some reason, again, it turns it back into adding material. We don't want that. So we've added the new part. We click on OK, check. We still have our nose cone with 2 gray brackets. I'm going to go ahead and rename that here so that it doesn't say just part 2. I'm going to say rename this one. This is the right forward FWD. I'm going to try to keep it short. Fin bracket. And then part 3, I'm going to go ahead and rename that left forward fin bracket. Okay. So this is it. If you can just check what the mass properties is by clicking on that fin bracket, if you get 5.076 centimeters cubed, then you did that part right. Of course, if I click on the second one, it's just going to be twice as much, which is 10.152. All right, thank you so much. We'll go ahead and end this video here. Make sure that you name your files, because that is important if you're trying to keep up with all the file naming here. Thank you very much.